Today we're kicking off a 1 week 1 palette with the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is such an OG palette. I loved it so much back in 2013 when I first purchased it. I had pans in multiple shades and I love it just as much now in 2025. Over a decade later, I picked this up at the end of 2024 and it has slowly become one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes again in my collection. I thought this would be a good palette to do a 1 week 1 palette with because I'm sure quite a few of you guys still own this palette and maybe can recreate these looks, or if you don't still own it, you probably did at one point because it was such a popular eyeshadow palette, and this will just bring out all your nostalgic feels from owning it in the past. So for day one, we're going to do one of my favorite looks that I like to make with this palette. It's an all matte, just classic sort of eyeshadow look. So we are going to start off with this Naked shade right here. I did already prime with the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer, and we're going to take a rougher 15 in that Naked shade and just kind of throw this into the crease. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow shades. I think this is the most perfect, beautiful transition shade for my skin tone. It's a brown that's not too deep, but not too light where it barely shows up. It's a good, like, neutral shade, not too warm, not too cool. This shadow is perfection to me. And actually one of my favorite looks to do with this palette, besides the one I'm gonna do for you today, is just using this as a one and done. I might do that as a future eyeshadow look for like the 1 week 1 palette. I haven't decided yet because it's just like one shade, you know what I mean? I don't know if that can be considered an eyeshadow look, but I guess you'll see later in the video if I decide to do that or not. Next, we're going to take this Buck shade right here on a rougher 01 and we're going to tap that on the outer corner and put it up into the crease a little bit. This I wish had a little bit more warmth to it. It's a very, very cool tone brown. I think it's beautiful. I still like the shade, but to pair with that Naked shade, I do wish it had a smidge more warmth, but that's just me being picky. Please let me know down below in the comments, do you own this palette still? If you're still rocking your one from 2013 or 2012 or whenever this palette released, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but maybe not use decade-old eyeshadows on your eyes. I feel like I've said that before on my channel and I've gotten such conflicting comments in the comment section from people, like some people saying that it's fine, it's powder products, you can use them forever, and some people saying do not use palettes over like a year old on your eyes, which I definitely do that, but you know, to each their own, and how long you want to use a makeup product for before you decide that it's expired. Okay, lastly, we're going to take this Virgin shade right here. I'm just going to pick it up with my finger and we're going to put it on the inner half of the eyelid. This Virgin shade isn't completely matte. There is the tiniest hint of sparkle to it if you look up really, really close. But for the most part, it's a matte shadow and it shows up fairly matte on the eyes, which that's like one of my favorite reasons to use it for this kind of look right here. It's just an all matte, almost smoky eye, not super smoky, but I definitely think it's okay for like daytime. Like this is the type of eye look that you could wear anywhere. Daytime to work, nighttime to date, like to a date out with your significant other or a girl's night or anything. Like this is a very versatile eye look in my opinion. And that's it. That's the final look. Just a really simple all matte eye look that I just really love to make with this palette. If you are new to my 1 week 1 palettes, I'm going to go ahead and have my playlist linked down below for you in case you want to check out other videos like this. I've done quite a few of these videos on a lot of different palettes. So definitely check out that playlist below. Look around, see if there's any other palettes that you own that you want some inspiration on. In these videos, I do go off camera, finish the rest of my face, finish up the eyes, all of that. I come back on, tell you how I finished off the eyes, like what shadow I used on my lower lash line, inner corner, all of that. And I tell you what blush I used and what lip product I used because those are probably the products that most people want to know what I used each day. And then every product that I used on my face for all 5 days will be listed down below for you. Not linked. I don't have enough room in the description box to link them all, but it'll all be listed down below for you by day, every single product I put on my face all 5 days. So I'm gonna go finish my makeup and I'll be right back. And here is the final look for day one for you guys. Let me get you a little more up close. To finish up my lower lash line, I just ran that Naked shade along there. And then for the sake of the video, I did go ahead and use this Sin shade as my inner corner highlight. It's not my favorite. I would prefer a more like blinding inner corner highlight, but it works. For the blush combination I have on right now, first I put on the e.l.f. This is their Camo blush in the shade Dusty Rosé. And then I topped it with the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Cool Coral. And then for lips, I have my Maybelline Lifter liner in the shade Line Leader. I just lined my lips with it. And I topped it with the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum in the shade Pink Glow. I think this was a good start to the week. I love this eye look. It's one of my go-tos with this palette. And I'm excited to keep creating 4 more looks for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to day 2. Okay, we're back for day 2. I think you're going to be able to tell, but in real time, my time, I got my hair cut yesterday, and I actually also got it dyed for the first time ever. I got highlights put in my hair for the first time ever. I had virgin hair before yesterday, so I think you can tell that I got highlights in it. It is definitely very natural, which part of me is really glad that my hairstylist did that, because I'm glad it's not like overwhelming, because it was my first time dyeing my hair, that like I didn't look in the mirror after it was done and like have super intense highlights. Like I think that maybe would have been overwhelming. So I'm kind of glad she did it on the more natural side. But I do think, now that I know that I think I like it, I'm going to go more intense next time around, which won't be till June. But yeah, I'm like excited. I've been thinking about doing something different with my hair for a while, so I decided to get highlights. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Unless you don't like them, then please don't let me know. Just please be nice to me. But anyways, for today's look, we actually are, I think, going to attempt to take Ivy out to dinner when she wakes up from her nap. We're just going to go to like a local place that has like chicken wings, nothing fancy or anything. But I do actually have plans after this, which like never happens. So we are going to start off with this Naked shade, and we're going to put it into the crease. She had it curled yesterday, and I probably should have recurled it, like touched up the curls, but I decided to just kind of go with it, like how it naturally has fallen from yesterday to today. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I maybe should have curled it again, but that is okay. I love this shade so much. It is such a good transition shade. Oh, so pretty, which like you wouldn't think like a plain brown eyeshadow would be that impressive, but I don't know. There's something about this shade I love. But next, we're going to take this Buck shade right here. We're going to put that in the outer corner and up into the crease, just to give it some depth. I do wish there was one other deeper matte in this shade, or in this palette. All the other deeper shades down here do have a little bit of shimmer in them. They are more like satiny. This Buck shade is the darkest matte, which I don't love, but you know, it's okay. And take a little bit more Naked and make sure it's all buffed out. And then we're going to take some NYX Glitter Primer and put it on the inner half of my lid, and we're going to take this stunning Sidecar shade. Oh, I love this shade so much. Fun fact, when I had my first Urban Decay Naked palette all the way back in 2013, this had like massive pan. Like it was almost gone. It was like my favorite shade to use in this whole palette. And I can understand why, because it is gorgeous. We're just going to stamp this on. I love the shade of this. It's just like a pretty, I don't even know, neutrally, has a hint of champagne, but it's darker than just a champagne, and it has a lot of glitter in it, which I typically don't really go for these days, but there's just something about this shade that's just so, that was way too much glitter primer. That was just, that's just so pretty. And I feel like the glitters aren't too intense. It's borderline for what I like these days, but I can still wear this shade and feel comfortable. Let me know down below, were you a Sidecar girly or were you a half-baked girly? Because I feel like you really latched on we all latched on to one of those shades. I was a Sidecar girly. My best friend Abby was a half-baked girly, and hers had a massive pan in it. It's just funny. I feel like we all kind of just latched onto one of those two shades. I could be wrong, but at least that's how it was with me and my friend group. But that is all. That's what we're going to do for day 2 for that. Like pretty easy and simple, but I feel like it looks nice and pretty and elegant and put together. I feel like this is a little bit more date night appropriate than like going to get chicken wings, but that's okay. Well, I'm technically going on a date with my husband and my daughter, you know what I mean? So let me go, you know the drill. I'm going to go finish my makeup, and then I'll be right back to show you the completed look. And here is the final look for day 2 for you guys. I really like how this look turned out. I think it's really pretty, but I kind of knew I would love this look because I love that Sidecar shade. It is just so stunning. All I did to finish up the lower lash line was run that Naked shade along there. And then for my inner corner highlight, I just used my lightest shade in the Dior highlight quad. That's also the highlight I used on my face. For blush, I use this one from IT Cosmetics. This is their Glow with Confidence Sun Blush in the shade Sunlit 10. I use this as a cream blush because it is a cream blush, and then I set it down with powder, but then I was able to put a little bit more over top of the powder, so it's nice to know that these can apply on top of powder and not disrupt it, not get weird or wonky or patchy or anything. And this shade is so beautiful. I can see myself getting a ton of use out of this in the upcoming like spring and summer. It looks like sunburn almost, but in like the best way possible. And then on my lips, I have my Freck Makeout Club Nude Mousse Lip Liner in the shade 02. I just line my lips and fill them in a tiny bit. And then the lip gloss I have on, you guys, this is so expired, but I hadn't reached for it in so long that I wanted to use it anyways. It's from Marc Jacobs. This is their Enamored Hydrating Lip Gloss in a stick, and this is in the shade Sugar Sugar. I used to be obsessed with this. Like, I used to wear it all of the time, and like I said, I hadn't reached for it in a while. I actually don't like it as much as I remember. I feel like it's emphasizing the lines on my lips a little bit more than I remember it doing, but I am so excited to make 3 more looks with this palette for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to day 3's look. Okie doke, for today we are going to go for a halo eye. So we're going to start off with this Naked shade as per usual. That's probably going to be the first shade I start off with in almost every look. And just throw this into the crease. I was thinking about adding Buck as well, but I don't think I'm going to. This Naked shade is giving me the depth that I was looking for, so I'll take it. Really buff and blend. Okay, I'm liking that. Next, we're going to put glitter primer all over my lid, and I think we're going to do Half Bake in the middle, and then the Smog shade on the outer and inner portion of my eyes. I don't know if there will be enough of a difference. Maybe there will be. Yeah, okay, so that's Half Baked and that's Smog. Yeah, that should be enough of a difference. I was like going back and forth between all of the shimmers trying to figure out. I knew I wanted Half Baked in the middle. I want to highlight that shade because I'm sure a lot of people love that shade. So I was trying to figure out what shimmer to put on the outer and inner portion of my eyelid, and I was like going back and forth between all of them. But I think I did settle on Smog. So we're going to take Smog on a Rephr 02 and tap that on the outer portion and the inner portion. Let it go up into the crease a little bit. And then on my finger, we're going to take that Half Baked shade in the middle. Yeah, there's a difference. I was afraid they would look not the same on the eye, but I didn't know if there would be enough of a difference to kind of tell it's a halo eye and not just like one of like the same shimmer all over my lid. But no, I feel like there is definitely a difference. Same thing on this eye. I'm gonna take some Smog. I'm glad to see that this is picking up nicely with a brush. I usually put shimmers on with my fingers, but when I do a halo eye, I like to have a little bit more control with the brush. So I like to see that this can be applied with a brush fine. Some shimmers don't do that. You have to use a finger. We're just going to tap between. Really make sure it's blended. Okay, I like that. I do actually think I'm going to take a little smaller dome brush. This is the What's Up Beauty R102. And we are going to run a little bit of that Buck shade in my crease. Just a tiny bit. I do want to deepen it a little bit more. And then take a little bit more Naked. And buff and blend. And actually I'm going to dip into... So I took this Buck shade and then I just dipped into Naked, and I am going to take a little bit of Virgin just on that same brush I had Naked. These names, guys. And I'm going to make sure that's all buffed and blended as well. And yeah, okay, I like that. I think that looks good. I'm a sucker for a halo eye, especially a shimmer halo eye when both of them are shimmers. I know a lot of times halo eyes are matte, like a matte darker on the inner and outer portion and then a shimmer in the middle, but I personally find it a lot easier to do all shimmer. So if you've tried a halo eye before and you didn't like how it looked or you couldn't get the blend right, try 2 shimmers or like an all shimmer lid. I think it would be a little bit easier for you. So you know the drill. I'm gonna go finish my makeup and I'll be right back. And here is the final look for day 3 for you guys. I really like how it turned out. I'm a sucker, like I said, for a all shimmer halo eye, and I think this is very elegant and pretty. So all I did to finish up the lower lash line was run that Naked shade along there. That's probably how I'm going to finish most of my looks. Start with the Naked shade and end with the Naked shade. And then my inner corner highlight is then just the white and the gold mixed together of my Dior quad that I'm obsessed with. For blush, I went ahead and used this IT Cosmetics blush again today. This is their Glow with Confidence Sun Blush in the shade Sunlit 10. It was so pretty on me yesterday that I wanted to wear again today, but I did go ahead and top it with the Bare Minerals Bronzer in the shade Kiss of Pink. I have not reached for this blush in a while, and it is so pretty. I remember why I love it so much. It used to be a favorite. I used to wear it all the time. I'm about to go film my Ulta Beauty 21 Days of Beauty video talking about all the products in the sale, what products I have my eye on, what products I recommend you guys possibly checking out, and what products that I've tried that I don't like and don't recommend you guys checking them out, even though they're 50% off. So that video will definitely be up before this one. Go ahead and check it out if you have not yet. But both those blushes are in the sale, so that's why I wanted to use both of them today so I can talk about them in my next video. And then for lips, we have the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Extreme in the shade Wherever Walnut. I lined my lips, filled them in a tiny bit, and then I used the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Serum Gloss in the shade Self Determined. This is the most most beautiful, juicy, berry, bitten, popsicle-y sort of shade. Oh, I love this lip gloss so much. This is another one that's in the sale that I recommend to you guys. But yeah, definitely go check out that video if you have not yet. I'll have a link down below and in the eye so you can get all the deets on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. So, what do you guys think of the third look? I really like it. I like how bronzy it is. I definitely do think that there's enough of a difference between Half Bake and Smog. We got 2 more looks, so let's go ahead and move on to day 4. Okay, for today, I think I'm going to go with a more traditional eye look that I'm used to, in the sense that I'm going to be using like a dark outer corner up into the crease, a lighter shimmer over the lid, all of that. So we are going to go ahead and start off with this Naked shade again. Put this into the crease like I have quite a few other looks. Okay, with this palette here, the Buck shade that I've already used a couple times in this video is the deepest matte shade. I have expressed my complaints about that. I do wish there was a deeper matte shade in this palette. However, my Charlotte Tilbury palette that I have, the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize, I use those shimmers in that palette like I would mattes, where I put them on the outer corner, I blend them into the crease because they are a more satiny sort of formulation. They're not super glittery, which is exactly how these shades down here are. So I'm just gonna kind of do that same thing where I use these shimmers as I would matte shades. So we're going to take this Hustle shade right here. We're also going to use a little bit of this Toasted, and then the shimmer I want to put all over my lid is going to be this Sin shade. So I got that dark Hustle shade, and we're just going to put this on the outer corner. It's definitely pulling a little bit more gray than brown, and it's also, we're gonna build it up. It's not very deep for it being the deepest shade in the palette, other than those 2 more like the black one called Creep, and then the looks like a blue-gray one called Gunmetal, which I don't want to get into today. Okay, a second layer deepened it up a little bit, so that's nice. So as you can see, even though this is technically a shimmery sort of shade, it does look fine on the outer corner and up into the crease. I am gonna also dip into this Dark Horse shade because I was dipping into Hustle, and it's like, I mean, it's definitely got some depth to it, don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna see what Dark Horse does. They look very similar in a finger swatch. Yeah, not much different. I'm gonna drag it over here a little bit. I'm gonna take that first brush with that Naked shade and just kind of buff and blend. And then I feel like I'm just gonna use my finger. We're gonna take this Toasted shade and we're gonna put that on like the middle portion of my eye. I'm wondering if I should use glitter primer with these. I'm kind of like, it's too late now. Kind of already applying it. And then also with my finger, we're gonna take that lightest Sin shade. I didn't really tell too much of a difference between the Hustle and the Toasted shade. I mean, can you guys see on my eye? Not really. I guess I just answered for you. I mean, I can't really see it. Maybe you can see a difference. I mean, that looks pretty. It doesn't really look like I have 3 different shimmers on my eyes. It kind of just looks like 2. I just don't think that Toasted and the Hustle shade, even though they swatch really different. This is Toasted, this is Hustle, which Toasted all over the lid would be stunning as like a one and done. I think I'm going to carry that Sin shade over a little bit more just to kind of cover up Toasted because it didn't really give me much difference. And then a little bit more of Hustle just to kind of marry the 2 together. I feel like I should have used glitter primer. I like regret not putting glitter primer on, but I didn't really know like where in the process to do that. I feel like this Sin shade would be a little bit more poppy if I had put some glitter primer on, which I like how soft it is. It's pretty. I like this look. It's not what I was anticipating though. This isn't what I was thinking was going to happen with this look. That Hustle shade, like I said, just didn't really get as deep on my eye as it looks in pan. Maybe it did. I don't think it did though. And then, yeah, like I said, that Toasted shade didn't really show up. And then the Sin shade is beautiful. It's just like, I don't know. It's just very soft, very blended, which is nice. Like, don't get me wrong, but it just isn't how I picture this eye look. I don't really know what to say. It's just not how I picture this eye look. But I do like it. Like, I think it's pretty. But I'm gonna go ahead and just finish the rest of my makeup. I don't know why I feel so conflicted about this think it's just like not what I expected. And I'm just literally repeating myself at this point. So I just feel like weird about it. Does that ever happen to you guys? I don't know. I don't think I'm in like a weird mood. But like, does that ever happen to you guys where you put your makeup on and it's just not how you envision and then you're just kind of like thrown off? Maybe I'm just being really dramatic, but I'm gonna go finish my makeup. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I feel less weird about my eye makeup look. I don't know what was up with me earlier. It's fine, it's fine. But here is the completed look for day 4 for you guys. I do like it. I do think it's pretty. To finish up my lower lash line, I just ran that Naked shade along there. My cheeks are very pink and blushed today. I understand that, but I like it. First for my cream blush, I use the Buxom Plump Shot Collagen Peptides Advanced Plumping Blush in the shade Tickled Pink. I put this down first and then set my face down with powder. And then on top of that, I use the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Cool Coral. This blush is just gorgeous. I love it so much. But this combination is good if you want like a real bright poppy pink cheek like I've got going on. And then for lips, I used my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the shade Pillow Talk. Look at this little baby nub of a lip liner. This shade, man, it's so good. It's such a good pink. And then the main pink that you see on my lips right here is from Revie Beauty. This is their Effortless Lips in the shade Tulip. I just thought it matched the cheeks really nicely. I can definitely see this lipstick being a go-to in the upcoming spring and summertime. So that is all for day 4 for you guys. I gotta be honest, I really liked all 4 of my looks so far. So I'm excited to complete one more look for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to day 5. Okie doke, our 5th and final day. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of struggling with what eyeshadow look to do today, only because I feel like this is not a very versatile palette. When you look at it, obviously all the tones are very similar. Like I feel like I've exhausted pretty much every eye look out of this palette that I would naturally make on myself. I did not use these two down here, Creep and Gunmetal. These just are not shades that I would ever really reach for. I guess never say never, but in my everyday life looks that I make, I don't use these shadows. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not really going to reach for those. So I feel like I've exhausted all of the eye looks in tones and shades and stuff that I would probably just inherently make with this palette, you know? So I'm going to do a little bit boring of an eye look that only really uses 2 shadows. So I hope you guys are okay with that. Honestly, what I really want to do is just take this Naked shade and do a one and done with it, because that is one of my favorite looks to make with this palette. This shade is just perfection. I love it so much. Just putting it up into the crease all over the lid. It's the most perfect matte one and done shadow that looks good all day, goes with makeup, like any other makeup you want to wear, any outfit. Like I love this shade so much. But I felt like that wasn't really a good enough eye look for you guys to do like a one and done. So I'm going to do a 2 and done instead. And hopefully you're okay with that. So we're going to take this Naked shade and put it in my crease. And then we're going to take this Toasted shade and use that all over the lid, which I said in a previous day, I don't know if it was day 3 or day 4, I can't remember, that shade would be beautiful by itself all over the lid. So we're going to test that theory today. First, I need to get this hair out of my face. Okie doke, so like every other day, Naked into the crease. Another reason I didn't want to do just this Naked shade all over as a look is because I've showed that before. I don't think I've shown myself like applying it, but I have worn that look in other videos, or at least one other video, maybe 2. So like you guys know, I mean, just imagine this all over the lid. You can picture it, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do something a little more than that. So we are going to take some glitter primer, put it all over the lid. And then we're going to take that beautiful, oh my gosh, that Toasted shade looks stunning. We're just going to tap, 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 tap. Let it go up into the crease a little bit. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Is this like a really boring basic look? Yeah. So sorry. So sorry about that, you guys. But really, I mean, realistically, looking at this palette, I'm sure someone with better makeup skills and better makeup ideas could make obviously way more interesting eye looks than I can. I never have claimed to be a makeup artist. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just like makeup and I like to talk about it. So that's why I'm here. But I'm sure someone else could make better eye looks with this palette than I have. These are just the looks that I enjoy and I like to wear on myself, you know? I've never done like super intricate eye looks on my channel. So you're probably not here for that if you're watching this video. So thank you for having a realistic expectation of me and my eye looks. I think that's all we're gonna do, guys. I love this like tone of brown on me. I feel like it makes my eyes pop. And with the rest of my makeup done in that Naked shade on my lower lash line, I think that this will be a really pretty eye look. This Toasted shade is stunning. It's beautiful where it has like a little bit of shimmer and sheen and glow to it, but it's definitely not too intense, which you guys know is not what I'm going for these days. So I stand corrected. This shade is really pretty all over the lid by itself. So you guys know what happens next. Gonna go finish my makeup. BRB. And here is the finished look for the 5th and final day for you guys. Is it simple? Yes, it is. But I actually really like how this look turned out. This is exactly the type of makeup vibe I have been going for these days. So yeah, finishing up my lower lash line was just that Naked shade. And then my inner corner highlight is my Dior highlight quad, the lightest, the little white one right here. For cheekies, I pulled out an oldie but a goodie that I have not reached for in a very long time. It is from Lancome. This is their blush subtil in the shade Sheer Amorose. Do they still make this shade? I'm unsure. I know they still make this formulation, this blush. I'm not sure about the shade though, but it is the most beautiful, just like cool-ish tone pink that just gives my face like a really pretty flush without going overboard. I'm so sorry I'm raving about this when I don't know if you can get this anymore, but if you still can, I really recommend that shade. It's stunning. And then for my lips, I went ahead and used my Freck Makeout Club Nude Muse Lip Liner in the shade O2. I lined my lips and filled them in a little tiny bit and then topped it with the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss in the shade Glamingo Pink. You would have to pry these out of my hands. They're both, look at that, so pretty. And that was, you guys, that was my 1 week 1 palette with the Urban Decay Naked palette. What did you guys think? I love hearing from you guys down below in the comments. Which of the days was your favorite look? So please let me know down below which one was your favorite. I'm trying to decide which one was mine. I really liked all 5 of them, but this is one of my favorite palettes, so I'm not surprised that I liked all the looks at all. Let me know down below. Do you own this palette? Are you going to recreate any of these looks? I know that this palette is not available anymore, but I just wanted to still do this 1 week 1 palette because I feel like I figured a lot of people do own this palette or have owned it in the past, and this is just a good like nostalgia reminder of like the good times we all had with the Naked palette, you know what I mean? So hopefully this video was enjoyable for you guys. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not yet, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.